The pain of a cheating spouse isn't something that's easy to overcome. However, it is necessary for your emotional well-being, and especially if you decide to continue moving forward with your relationship. By the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a few powerful secrets to help you along the way. Hey friend, before we get into this video, let me ask, are you committed to doing the inner work to live your very best life? I assume so. If you're watching this video to learn how you can forgive someone who has betrayed you, such as cheating or hurt you in the past, then you are definitely one of our peeps. I invite you to subscribe to our channel so that you too can join our community of amazing people who are committed to learning, laughing, and growing so that we all can live our very best lives, all filled with joy. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell. Let's dive in. Let's be honest, forgiveness is one of the hardest things that we have to do, especially if we're on the wounded end of the stick. Take it from me, somebody who has had to learn to forgive the unforgivable. When I was a child, I was sexually abused from the age of 8 till 18 years old. The pain of that betrayal from a family member that we trusted and we knew and we loved and we spent a lot of time with our family with, it caused a tremendous amount of resentment and anger and hurt. And then we had to forgive the family that when they found out about it at 14 is that all got swept under the rug and they tried to kind of cover it up and hoping that he said he was sorry, that it was going to end. And though the abuse perpetuated, now I had this new dimension of hurt and suffering and pain as my family continued to put me into a position to be sexually abused over and over again. So you had all of these different dimensions that locked down my heart, that prevented me from being vulnerable or to want to trust or to trust love or to be willing to be loved or to love others. And from that space, I had to learn a lot of the truths and myths that I'm going to share with you right now. 4 of the powerful ones that are going to help shift and unlock your heart so you can not only start moving into forgiveness, but also begin to let go of a lot of the pain and the suffering that haunts you on a day-to-day basis. From there, now I've taught thousands of people just like you on how to forgive the unforgivable. It will work. So grab your pen and paper and let's dive in. Number 1, one of the most powerful hang-ups that can prevent you from moving into forgiveness and being emotionally free from all the pain and suffering that you are stewing in as a result of the betrayal that you've experienced is this idea that forgive and forget is a strategy. I want to blow that out of the water right off of the bat. So number 1, forgive and forget is not a strategy. A lot of times we think that time will heal all wounds. No, my friend, time will heal some wounds. And in fact, time will lessen the wound because it'll give it time to scar over. But it isn't a strategy. In fact, your brain neurologically cannot forget the betrayal that has happened. And so it's normal when you are interacting with that person to have these waves of emotion that'll come over you, to have that resentment kind of boil back up to the surface again, to find yourself being okay and then not okay on other days, because little things will begin to trigger that pain and that memory. And if you understand that your brain's primary job is of survival, is to protect you. Well, when somebody has hurt us or abused us or has betrayed us, guess what? The brain now has literally labeled that person as a threat. And so rebuilding trust is a part of that process. It's going to take time for your brain to relabel that person. Does that make sense? First off, just know that forgive and forget is not a strategy. You need a plan to forgive. Okay? Hear that again. You need a plan to forgive. You have to actively engage in the practice of forgiveness, in the art and the act of forgiveness. What that means is that we have to begin to challenge the thoughts, process the emotions as they come up, not ignore them, not hope that they're going to go away. And they may go away for a minute, but they're not going to go away indefinitely without your support. So that's number 1, is to recognize that forgive and forget is not a strategy. Number 2 is now leads into recognizing that forgiveness is a practice. All right, so this goes hand in hand with the last one, as I already mentioned. Forgiveness is a practice, and that means it's something that you do over and over again. A lot of times we think that I'm just going to forgive and then it's done. I get to close that chapter, close the book, it's all over. Guess what, my friend? There's sequels that are going to continue to keep getting written from that book, meaning that you could see your spouse on Facebook. And they're just kind of like scrolling through their Facebook feed, and maybe they're being completely innocent. But inside, that could just start to churn and to create this doubt of who are they talking to? What are they doing? Who are they connected with? And that could start to stem all of this hurt back up again. In that moment, it is necessary for us to go back to forgiving. So here's the thing. I'm assuming that you chose to stay with that spouse or that partner that's cheated on you, right? So if that's the choice, then we absolutely need to know that this is going to continue to flare up, and they won't even intentionally do it. It's important not to begin to emotionally vomit all over that person. Is that we do want to acknowledge it and say, hey, okay, all of those emotions are coming back up again. I need a minute to go process these. Or it's okay as well if let's say that the person that they cheated on you with was somebody that they met through social media, to say like, hey, I'm having all of those emotions again. Do you mind if I could just see who you're talking to so I can set my mind at ease with this? And this is how we begin to rebuild trust. We have to have an open communication about your feelings, and that your partner recognizes that it's like, hey, this is going to be a process. I'm not going to be able to just say, I forgive you, and that's the end of it, and close the book. I know a lot of times we wish it would be that way, but that's not how our emotional bodies, that's not how our mental bodies are going to work. You need space and time to work through it, and they're going to come in waves. You're going to be okay one minute, and then not okay another, and then okay one minute, and not okay another. But as long as you're actively engaging in the art and the practice of forgiveness, then you are going to be able to, get through this to the point where someday you actually will move into feeling forgiveness, where they can be truly forgiven. Now, you could be on the other end of the spectrum. Maybe this person you're not with anymore. Great. You're probably not going to be as triggered as much. However, you still are going to have emotions that will bubble to the surface, especially if you decide to get into a new relationship. So it's so imperative that you recognize that forgive and forget is not a strategy, that you want to actively engage in the art and practice of forgiveness, and that you also want to know that forgiveness is a practice that's going to be ongoing. It is a practice before it's a feeling. By practicing it enough, it'll generate the feelings of forgiveness. But that doesn't mean it's stagnant. It doesn't mean you get to a destination and that's the end. This is going to be an ongoing process. And I know it's not fair. It's so easy to think like, this isn't fair. I didn't ask for this. I get it. And you're worth having peace as well. So before I move into my next two insightful tips for you, I really do want to hear from you right now. If you've been practicing forgiveness, or even if you're new to forgiveness, what are some powerful strategies or insights or tools that have helped you along the way? Please comment below, because our community learns from each other. And that means that you have something that we all can benefit from. All right, so let's dive into my insight number 3, which is get help to get to the root. Now, again, this is probably implied that maybe you're stayed with that person who has cheated on you and you want to work through forgiveness with them. There was something that caused them to stray. There was something that was something in the dynamic, something in the relationship dynamic, something within themselves that needs to be evolved. It needs to be changed. There's something that's missing. Maybe their needs are not being met. Maybe that they're struggling with some childhood stuff that is kind of like perpetuating in their relationship dynamics. Maybe they don't feel worthy or valid. I'm not sure what it is. However, there's always something that will cause somebody to do a behavior like this. And so you want to solicit help. You want to either take some kind of a course, you want to be able to take counseling, you want to hire a coach, you want to hire somebody to help the two of you be able to get to the source of that. Now, if you're the one that cheated, this is really important that you dig into understanding what caused you to perpetuate that behavior. Why did you make that decision? What was missing within you? And then here's the trick though, is to try to stay out of 100% blame. Yes, the other person contributed to your decision. However, we want to take ownership of your part as well. Now, if you're not with the person anymore, I still strongly suggest you go through at least the mental exercises to try to see like what contributed to that decision, what contributed to the relationship getting to that point, and really seeing if there was some part of you that maybe was participating in it as well. Maybe you were busy, maybe you just really were disconnected, maybe the marriage became into a loveless place. Like what else was going on? So that you can really learn from that, and so you can be able to shift and evolve as well. Which leads me to insight number 4, which is forgive, learn, and grow. So again, as I mentioned earlier, forgiveness is not a stagnant practice. It is something that you want to do and use as kind of like a catalyst to be able to shift and to evolve and to grow. But that requires us to be actively participating and to understanding why this unfolded in the first place, what we can learn from it, how we can evolve from it, how the marriage can evolve from it, how your future relationships can evolve from it. The last thing you want to do is just get to this place where you forgive and then you don't really examine and investigate like what happened, and you don't grow, and as a result you may attract a mate like that again, or you may cheat again, or your a new marriage could get to that point again. You truly want to invest the energy into understanding it better. To help you, we've got lots of videos here that you can watch on forgiveness. As I mentioned earlier in this video, forgiveness was a practice that I had to really sink my teeth into and I had to learn from. So make sure that you check out the video here, and we have a whole playlist just for you. All right, so now that you know 4 really insightful tips on how you can begin to move into forgiveness, the work now begins. So as I mentioned throughout this video, is that forgiveness requires work. And to help you do that, I have a free downloadable here in the description below. This is my forgiveness letter that I use to learn how to go through the art of forgiveness. So this is the letter I wrote, thousands of them, when I was learning to forgive my family for the betrayal that I had experienced in my childhood. And now it's my gift to you. Just click the link below and it'll get sent to your inbox in no time. And if you are looking for a community of powerful women that you can support and learn and laugh and grow together, who are totally committed to doing the work, all fueled by joy, then you absolutely want to check out our Facebook community, Rebels for Joy. It is our sisterhood where myself, Jillian, and a lot of our friends hang out to do lives and share insightful information, support each other through this journey we call life. So click there to subscribe, and we'll see you then. Want to explore forgiveness in more depth? Make sure to check out our other videos here. We've got a whole playlist of powerful things. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next video.